the previous session, it was discussed about writing a code using direct addressing mode for any given expression like y of n is equal to x of n into h of n plus x of n minus 1 or x of n into h of n minus 1 and so on. So here we are going to consider the same concept using indirect addressing mode. So in this indirect addressing mode, we are going to just make use of auxiliary register instead of directly pointing from X to a register or Y to any register or H to any register. So here we are going to use it as auxiliary register. So we can observe here we consider 310H is stored to AR2. So it means that we are initializing a pointer AR2 for the x of n which is stored at 310H. In the earlier example, in direct addressing, we have considered it as from 410H. So we are going to initialize a pointer AR2 for x of n stored at 310H, initializing a pointer AR3 for the coefficient, so which is h of n minus 1 and h of n minus 2 and so on. So we are just using the indirect addressing mode. We are not directly pointing to any data directly to any of the register. Instead, we are going to point it indirectly using indirect addressing mode. So MPY content of AR2 and content of AR3 is multiplied. So we can see that x of n is the content and h of 0 is the content. So they are multiplied and the multiplied result is saved in A or transferred to A. Similarly, the other case, the content of AR2 and the content of AR3 is multiplied and they are transferred to B. And here we observe that in each instruction we have used here, we see that there is post increment. So it means that once the data is retrieved, the pointer is pointing to the next memory location. So it is done using post increment operator. So this is a post increment operator which is used here. Then add a comma b. So it means that we are going to add these two contents and the result is stored in the accumulator B. And once the result is stored in the accumulator B, we again move on to the content of AR2 and AR3, multiply it, and the result is stored in A. Then add a comma b again, so that the content of accumulator B is nothing but x of n into h of 0 plus x of n minus 1 into h of 1 plus x of n minus 2 into h of 2. So the result after performing multiplication and addition is stored in the accumulator B, and the lower part of the result is stored in the content of stored in AR2, whereas the higher part is stored in AR2 after incrementing it, so that it is pointing to the next location of AR register. Then end. No operation, then end. So that ends the code with indirect addressing mode. Now, if I don't want to use indirect and direct addressing mode, I have to use another concept like using a MAC instruction. So instead of multiplying and adding separately and storing the result in any register or accumulator, we can replace everything with just a MAC operation which is used here. So here we are going to assign 3 spaces for x variable, 2 spaces for y variable to store x, to store the result, and h is nothing but the coefficient and the values are 10, 20 and 30. So SSBX SXM, that is selecting the sign extension mode, initialize AR2 to point x of n, initialize AR3 to point h of 0, then load 0 into accumulator, that is initializing the accumulator to 0 or clearing the content of accumulator. Repeat it twice, repeat the next operation 3 times. Then MAC, so that is multiplying the content of AR2 with the content of AR3 and storing it in accumulator A. Then again incrementing the content, incrementing the address pointed by AR2 and also by AR3. So here, using a single instruction, we can multiply and accumulate the result instead of using two instruction. One is addition, one is multiplication. So that is the advantage of using MAC. Then STM, store the content, which is Y, and again storing the lower and storing the higher part. So one is storing the lower part into AR2, storing the higher part into AR2 after considering increment operator. So that is the end of this particular MAC instruction. Then interrupts of TMS320 processor. So many a times when CPU is performing any task or executing a program, a peripheral device which is connected to this may require a service from the CPU. So in such a situation, the main program has to be interrupted by a signal which is an interrupt signal, and this signal is used to generate an interrupt for a required operation. So this results in the processor suspending the main program in order to execute another program, and it is called as interrupt service routine. So that is ISR. So that any service can be provided to a peripheral device in between any program execution. So once the interrupt is completed, ISR, that is interrupt service subroutine, interrupt service routine is done. The processor returns to the main program and continue from wherever it is left or wherever it is stopped the instruction execution or executing a task. So interrupt here may be generated either by an external or an internal device. We call it as external interrupt or an internal interrupt. And also it can be generated using an hardware software also. And in some of the cases, all the interrupts which are requested may not be serviced when they require. So only those interrupts that are called non-maskable are serviced whenever they occur. So it is non-maskable interrupt. So such interrupts can be serviced whenever it is required. So other interrupts such as maskable interrupts are serviced only if they are enabled. So that is the difference between non-maskable and maskable. There is also a priority based interrupt which occurs whenever there is a priority given to a particular service to be done. So it accepts it, and the servicing of such interrupt is taken up and it is serviced. Okay, first interrupt is serviced if more interrupts are occurring continuously or simultaneously. Then, so almost all the devices of TMS have 32 interrupts, and some of the interrupts and types can vary from device to device. So here in this we have 32 interrupts. Then what we have is a pipeline operation which can be done in TMS320 C54 processor. So it has a 6-level deep instruction pipelining. So there are 6 stages of pipelining, and which they are independent of each other. So all these operations are not dependent on each other. So this allows overlapping execution of the instruction. During any cycle, so 6 different instructions can be active. So that is a benefit of using this pipelining process, and it can be done at any different or at any stage of processing. And the 6 levels of pipeline structure are program free fetch, program fetch, decode, access, read and execute. So these are the different levels of pipeline structure. One is program prefetch, program fetch, decode, access, read and execute. So this is the final level of pipeline structure. So during a program prefetch, the program address bus, that is PAB, is loaded with the address of the next instruction which is to be fetched. So this is called as a prefetch phase. Then in the fetch phase, an instruction word is fetched from the program bus and loaded into the instruction register. So these two phases form the instruction fetch sequence. Next, during the decode stage, that is the second stage, during the decode stage, the contents of the instruction register are decoded to determine the type of memory access operation which is required and the control signals required for the data address generation unit and the central processing unit. So this is what we require. Initially we go with prefetch, which includes a fetch phase also, and a decoding stage wherein the instruction register is decoded, and depending on the memory access operation in the control signal, this decoding stage is done. Decoding operation is carried out. Then comes the access phase. Access phase outputs the read operands on the data bus DAB. If the second operand is required, the other data bus CAB also loaded with the appropriate address. So we have DAB and PAB and CAB, that is the program address bus, data address bus, and CAB. So if I consider that, we go with the second operand which is required, and it is considered by using a data address bus which is a CAB address bus. Then auxiliary registers in indirect addressing mode and stack pointer are also updated. So in the read phase, the data operands are read from the data buses DB and CB. So this is a read operation which is carried out, which is done based on DB and CB. And whenever this phase is completed, in the two-phase read process, there is a start of the two-phase write process. So whenever the reading process is done, the result which is obtained has to be written. So that is by starting two-phase write process. So the data address of the write operand is loaded into the address bus, which is a data write address bus EAB. Then the execution phase will write the data using the data write bus, that is EB, and completes the operand write sequence. So the instruction is executed in these particular phases. The pipeline operation of TMS 320 processor, one is a prefetch, then fetching, decoding a data, accessing it, reading it, and writing, which is the execution phase of this particular pipeline instruction or pipeline operation. So hence it has got 6 phases or 6 stages of pipeline operation which are carried out in this process. So this is a pipe flow. Prefetch, P1 is prefetch, F1 is fetch, D is decode, A is access, R is read, and X is execute. So now we can see that in the pipe flow diagram, whenever the first instruction is in the fetching phase, second instruction is in the prefetching stage, and whenever first instruction is in the decoding stage, the second instruction will be in the fetching stage, and whenever the first instruction is in the access stage, second instruction will be in the decode stage, and whenever the first instruction is in reading stage, second instruction will be in the access stage. Whenever the first instruction is completely executed using the execution stage, second instruction will be in the reading stage. So similar to this, all these 6 operations are carried out. It means that all 6 instructions can be active whenever first instruction is active, which is in the last or final stage of execution instruction. So example, show the pipeline operation of the following sequence of instructions if the initial value of AR3 is 80 and the values stored in the memory location 80, 81, 82 are 1, 2 and 3. So this is the instruction given: load the content of AR3 into A, add 1000 H to A, store the lower order byte of A into AR3. So the values of 80 is given as 1, 81 is 2, 82 is 3, and AR3 is 80. So now if I look into that, LD is the first instruction opcode in the given instruction set. So prefetch, so 80 is pointed by AR3. So AR3 points to this data 80. So accumulator content is X, which is nothing, or the previous data, and add LD. So LD moves to fetch stage, and the next instruction, that is add instruction, moves to the prefetch stage. So it means again AR3 remains same, nothing is written into accumulator. So STL again, it is a third instruction in the prefetch stage, and the second instruction will be in the fetching stage, and the first instruction will be in the decoding stage. So LD. So 80, again there is no data which is transferred to the accumulator A. So that is one thing. Then again fetch is STL, and decoding and accessing it. So again it is incremented. So here after this AR3 content is incremented because it is post decrement. So it is +1. So that content is incremented. So 80 is now changed to 81. Again this instruction is moved to this stage STL, and add is again moved to this access. Then load is moved to read. So 81. So 1 is read into the accumulator. It means that 1 is transferred from the location 81 to accumulator. Then again STL. So here again loading is already done. So again here no read operation to be carried out. So it is again LD. So 82. So 001H is 82. Again STL, add 82. So it is having 1. Again STL 82, it is having 1. So this is the pipeline operation for this particular example. Similarly, show the pipeline operation of the following sequence of instruction if the initial value of AR1, AR3, A are 84, 81, 1, and the values stored in the memory location 81, 82, 83, 84 are 2, 3, 4, 6. Also provide the values of register AR3, AR1, T and accumulator A after the completion of each cycle. So this is the instruction given. Add, first is the addition, the content of AR3 with A, storing the result or transferring the result into A. Then LD, loading the result from AR1 to temporary register T and incrementing it. MPY, multiplying the content of AR3 with B and incrementing the content by 1, or incrementing using post increment operator. Add B comma A. It means that adding the content of B with the content of A, and the result is transferred to A. So in this case, if I start executing this, each instruction will be in prefetch, fetch, decode, access, read, execute, and write stages. So whenever the fourth instruction is in the read stage, already the first instruction will be in the execution stage, and all these values which are 81 is pointed by AR3, AR1 is pointed by 84 is pointed by AR1, 81 is pointed by AR3. Content of A is 1 and temporary register is remained unchanged. So again 81, 84, 1 no change, 81, 84, 1 no change, 82, 84. So here we can see that we are going to add, we are going to increase the value of the AR3. So it is post increment here. So 82, this remains 84, this is 82, this remains 84 in both the stages, because they are not in any execution and write state, they are just in reading stages. So 1x 83, 85, 03, 06, 83, 85, 03, 06, 83, 85, 03 and 06. Then again last part of the instruction, execute and write 83, 85, 15H and 06. So that is the pipeline operation for the previous example what we have taken up using these four. So here if I consider ER3, the content of ER3 gets modified and the content is added to A, and the result is stored in A. In this, loading the value from AR1 to the temporary register and incrementing it. Here multiplying the content of AR3 and with B and storing the result or transferring the result to B and incrementing AR3, and adding the content of B with the accumulator A, and the result after adding will be transferred to accumulator A. So this is a pipeline operation for the previous example where the contents are 81, 82, 83 and the content of AR1 is changed to 84, 85, and A is 1, A is 3, and A is 15. Similarly, T register content is unchanged, and then it is changed to 6. So this is the operation of this particular instruction.